to sleep, and they would scream and shout. This time in Abu Ghuraib was about a year and 2 months. That's on top of what we spent in the intelligence. They would send the young people. In some sections they were the mothers, and we the men, and the young men were upstairs. In the hallway, they would put one of the guards. They hit us with cables, and we would see our kids being hit with the cables, and the mothers' hearts will break also. Even the kids. They intimidate them with things. Maybe there's 2 years, 3 years. By God, I'm telling you the truth. Since I was even when I was in the intelligence, a child, his name was Jasim Muhammad al-Tayyib, they killed him because of torture. When I went down to interrogation, I saw him dead in the hallway. They said, anyway, we stayed a year in Abu Ghuraib. They hit one on his head. He was 70 years old. He was hit on the head, and as a result, he died a day or 2 days after that. That's what I remember. Who hit him? The guards. Do you know the name of the guard? No. They don't give us their names. If they give us their names, they will be not real. Mushbil, his name is Mushbil. In Abu Ghuraib. And also children died in Abu Ghuraib. Mushbil Hassan. Go on. Two children were born there. The woman, nothing, no help, and the children died. They took them, they wrapped them with newspapers. We stayed one year and 2 months in Abu Ghuraib. Before us, 3 months earlier, a group left. We thought that they went to their families. We thought that they were released to go to their families. After that, they took us with our families to the desert. They took us to the desert. We found houses for Bedouins, sand and very dry land. We don't have any food, nothing. Those who were there, we stayed about 10 days until they allocated us some allotments Sometimes they bring us some dry food. We bring us flour. We'll make some bread. And when we came to the desert, I saw 3 dead before me. Do you know their names? Yes, I know. One is Wahab Jafar. And a woman, I don't know her name. And Yasin al-Hassan. Yasin al-Hassan. During that time in the desert, when we were in the desert, about 4 died. Hamid Zaygaran, Sabri al-Asad, Nofa, Mara Nofa, and the last one I forgot. Other than the children who also died in the desert, they buried them in the desert. In the desert, we saw hardship, no clothes, nothing, no bed to sleep on. The weather would be sometimes cold, and the guards, we could not go to get firewood. We would go about 2 kilometers to get firewood, because so that we can get firewood to cook some food to eat. We would walk about 2 kilometers, and then it was about 3 kilometers because it was a desert, and then we were forced to take. They came and they took from us, the popular army. They took young people and they took them. Sometimes those people will bring us back from our families. From our families, they'd bring us some food or something. So if they come, they would pass by to bring us something. That was the most hardship that we saw, was in the desert. Until one day, one from the intelligence came to take our names. He wrote down our names, and in the afternoon he came. He said to Saya, Laya. He went to the Balad section, and he came in the morning. After he wrote our name, how did you know that he was intelligence, and what was his name? He identified himself as intelligence. What was his name? We didn't know who he was. He identified himself as intelligence. In the morning, next morning he came, the same person came. He said everybody who had his name on my paper come. The same night, they brought us open trucks, army. Some said that they brought it from the Messiah. They were open, about 10-15 trucks. They put us on those trucks. They took us out of the desert about 11 p.m. until we arrived at night At 12 at night, they brought us to the jail. 12, they got us to the jail. There we saw the guy said, you go to your families. The one who took us to the prison, he took us back to the jail. And each went to his family. That was the time. I stayed about 6 months or 7 months, and then the same people, the security and officer and Mash'al, came. They said, we want to talk to you. I said, what do you want to talk about? They said, well, we want you to come to the station, to the center. About 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and come. And I went with them. When I went with them, I found a gentleman from, two gentlemen from the intelligence, and we sat in a room wondering what the situation was.
All right, I'm Michael Holmes at the CNN Centre here in Atlanta. We're going to break away from our coverage of Saddam Hussein's trial and go to Anish Rahman and get a sense of what has been going on so far today as this trial has recommenced. Anish, the headlines, if you will.
Yeah, Michael, essentially we're